week again where you and I get to work together. What's Janine today? What's the deal?
I don't know. She's at home. It was a weekend for the old birthday party sleepover for our son, so I'm going it alone here.
Say no more.
Anyway, we're on the air tomorrow morning, 7 till 9, WGRR, Oldies 103.5. That's the time frame that you listen for the great oldie, which is Lightning Strikes by Lou Christie. Strikes is in the BPA King of TV Bowling.
Yes.
You call her 5 when you hear it at 749-1035. The winning score of the championship game, you win the $200 whip bowling ball. Just that easy.
That's right. And you can win that big prize if you try.
That's right.
Okay, Chris, thanks.
Thank you.
Lee Nienajadly and George Hensley will be going at it this time. George has chosen to start the match on the right-hand lane. And he has been absolutely unbelievable. The man with the hot hand in town, George Hensley. Let's see if he starts off. I mean, almost not striking is a surprise for George Hensley. Last week on our show, or 2 weeks ago, 278, 279. Last week, 268 to win. What can he possibly do to top that?
Lee Nienajadly continuing where he left off last game. Totally looks like a new competitor out there.
Jim, we don't keep track of it. Maybe we should. In the 5th frame, Chris Doan was up by 54 pins. When the game was over, Chris was going home.
Unreal.
One of the best comebacks
Huge turnaround.
I've ever seen.
And when you're a veteran player like Lee Nienajadly, you can really focus on the end of the game.
Correct. And that might have been the best thing that could possibly happen to him because he looked a little stale going in. Watch this from our elf cam. Ball going down the lane, coming in the 1-2 pocket, and it is perfect. And the elf cam. Yeah, why not, huh?
That's it.
Sure. A double for Lee Nienajadly. George Hensley trying to get on the board with his double. And he does. Jan, I tell you what, his type of bowling right now is as hot as it can get. 1-2 pockets annihilated. Watch the ball go through. Second pin back in center screen. That's a 5-pin. It goes out so quick, you can barely see it. George Hensley is our returning king, and he is a king with authority.
One of our best players in Cincinnati right now. Winning a bunch of dough here on this show.
Yes, he is, and he's a good player everywhere he goes. Another great shot. You know, if he keeps this up, we're going to be looking at maybe an automobile.
Ah, yes.
Well, let's take a look at this from our sky cam. George Hensley going to the line. Great idea of how the leverage is transferred from line to power. George Hensley, 3 in a row. And lead with 3 in a row.
Check this out. What exciting start to this match here. Both players with the first 3 in a row. And, of course, John Panker Jr. has brought out to us this morning this Chrysler Sebring convertible from Jeff Weiler, Chrysler Plymouth, out on State Route 32. John Panker bringing that out to us today. We appreciate it. Mr. Weiler, thank you very much.
And he was telling me it's available in black also.
Cool.
Well, I tell you what, we don't put the kiss of death on anybody, but there he is. He's telling us about the car.
That's Rich Eddy. He's an understudy. To the right is John Panker Jr.
And these guys bring out an automobile from the Jeff Weiler dealership group on Route 32, where cars like eggs are cheaper in the country. I never did buy eggs out there, but I have bought a car from them, and they are great people.
Very great selection.
Whoa, and it got back.
Oh, man.
Watch it here. He is going to wing this ball on 4 boards right of where he's typically playing, folks, and watch it. There, it's on the 7th board. 55 foot down the lane, comes back, slaps the headpin to the right side of the screen, comes back, takes the 3 and the 5 out late. He's smiling. Wouldn't you?
Absolutely. But he has a job to do. 4 in a row, only 8 more to go if you look at it that way.
Oh, no.
Boy, that ball jumped immediately. Looked like it was going to set up, but George rolls it so hard, the ball had no choice but to nosedive.
Watch it. He hits it a little extra hard.
Just a little.
Yeah, I think he shortened his span on that shot. Leaving the 4-7 crossed lane should not be a problem.
Oh, no. What's
killed.
going on with this spare shooting today?
I don't know.
But he's having mental lapses.
Well, here is where Nienajadly came in like a shark coming in for the kill last round.
No blood.
His opponent opens up, makes a very untypical type of mistake, and he jumped on it. Is it going to happen here? I bet you a case of Pepsi it does.
All righty.
1 case of Pepsi, please.
5 frames, 5 strikes for Nienajadly. Great sportsmanship out of George Hensley, as always. Fine gentleman.
Perfect through 5. 1 more to make it halfway.
Lee does have 7 300s to his credit, so he's been there before. A few more frames, and he's going to start thinking about it, I guarantee you.
Well, that's true, Jen, but even with an open frame in the 5th frame, George Hensley is the type of competitor that will not go away.
You bet.
Oh, man, he got through that ball hard.
Oh, 7 wiggles, wow.
Oh, he really threw a great shot. Solid 7 to show for it. Take a look at it here. Don't take your eyes off the 4-pin. Second one from the left-hand side of your screen. It's going to go around right there. That's a 4-pin going to the sidewall.
It, yep.
It touches it briefly and then goes around. Oh, Jen, that was so close.
Wow.
Can somebody make a spare? Yeah. All right.
George Hensley's going to try and recover from that open frame. Right here, a strike could get him back on track.
Can he make a comeback? Trails by 25 pins. 6th frame. Come on, George. What do you think?
Fills it up. Full pocket shot. Of course, when you bowl like George Hensley, 1 strike doesn't do anything without the double. Watch him reach for a little extra there. Really gets down at the line solid, and the reaction of the ball is conducive to that solid style. Heavy in the pocket, all 10 pins in the pit.
Well, sound like our president. Well,
that was the old president.
Yeah, well, frames.
A couple ago.
I gotta be careful. Yes, indeed. 1 open frame does not a win make, and George is not going to go away that easily. Striking in the 6th and 7th frame, he cuts the deficit to 15 pins. Lee has the lead, but I think he knows who's right behind him.
Very methodical.
It's in the area again. Yes, it is.
He just has an unbelievably great shot right now. Very comfortable on the lanes.
What a great shot, though. Watch the hacksaw strike. 5 pins. Second one back. Center of your screen will just go to the right side. Right there. Just into the 10. No hesitation. When you're doing that, your roll is so crisp and so strong. You don't want to change anything. 15 pins, Jen.
Lee only not striking so far in the 6th frame. That was even controversial.
Whoa,
Great.
he looks
There we
great.
go. He does. Really on a roll right now.
And Jen, here it is, the last regular week of the King of Bowling championship match, and these 2 players are congratulating each other on great shots.
That's what it's all about.
Doesn't get any better than this. Go out to your local BPA Fun Center and participate in the fun game that you're watching right now. George Hensley trails by 25, his 8th frame. Can he cut it back?
This is one heck of a match right here, folks. George Hensley not letting down at all right here, giving it all it's worth for a 3-bagger. Perfect execution, perfect into the pocket.
What's to be said about perfection? Well, it needs to be repeated again and again. And when you go out to your fun center, BPA House, they'll help you work on repetition.
You know what? They have tons of great summertime leagues available where your kids can get a bike or you can get a vacation. Anything you want. Participate in the league this summer. Get a new ball. Whatever. Check out your local BPA center, and they can tell you what you need. And check this out from up in the sky.
Yeah. It's our sky cam now. George Hensley staying down at the line, going into the 1-2 pocket. Crucial 9th frame. What's he do? He just destroys the pocket. 10 in a pit. And 9th frame, it's back at you, Lee. 15 pins back and forth. This game's going to go to the first person who doesn't make a mistake. Or get a bad break.
Or get a bad break.
Wow.
2 perfect shots are the only ones in which he doesn't strike, and both were a wrap 7-pin.
Lee Nienajadly with 208 in the 8th frame. Should he strike, this is now a 4-pin match, Jen.
Great bowling today on BPA King of Bowling.
How heavy do you think this ball is for this 7-pin? For most people, heavy. For Lee?
For Lee, piece of cake.
Not a problem.
Lee's wife, Annette, looking on and rooting for him to bring home those big bucks.
4 pins separating the 2 players. Lee Nienajadly leads by 4 at this point, but the momentum, the crusher is with George right now. Lee needs to strike on the first 2 balls in the 10th frame, and he still cannot lock out George Hensley.
What a match.
Ooh.
Going high, that's going to allow George to be a little bit freer in his swing coming up here in the 10th frame.
But you know what, Jen? I'm not so sure that free swinging is what George needs. I've seen him make clutch shots time and time again, but I think he's still going to bear down and throw a great shot.
He's going to need to be firm. We know that for sure.
Good-looking spare out of Lee, cross lane, and the crowd appreciates him, but he wouldn't be biased by any chance.
Jeremy says, Bob, what's going on? Is he winning?
I don't know, but it was good he made a spare.
That's right.
226 in the 9th frame with a strike up, 246. George Hensley needs to strike on his first ball in the 10th to win. Count immaterial at this point. 244. Well, I'm sorry, it isn't immaterial. George Hensley needs to strike on this ball.
This is it. The first one in the 10th for sure. He's going to need this one. Let's see if he free swings it or if he really bears down and gives it some extra juice and gets it down the lane.
This tells the tale of our last week. If he strikes, George Hensley stays our king. What do you think? It's out of here. George Hensley once again comes through with the kind of talent that we know he's capable of. Stay with us. We'll have the final score when we come back after these words.